So you mentioned Nix there, and I think that's something that everyone will talk about. So you mentioned you also use NixOS. You've said that like Nix is going to be one of the few dependencies the project actually has. Um, why Nix? I guess.
If you install Nix with a single command, you can declaratively, reproducibly create an entire project
Mm-hmm,
and share it, and it will work everywhere else
mm-hmm,
without issues with dependencies, without issues with isolation, without polluting your source code with uh, your own forks of projects. And I think Nix is great because you can actually pass in variables. So you have environment variables you can pass in. You can pass in binaries of other packages, for example, to run directly, and it gives a full path to your immutable Nix store.
mm-hmm.
And it's just such a good choice for this project because there's so much going on, and I really only want to include Wawona source code in my repo. So when I publish upstream, all you're going to see is a bunch of Rust. You're going to see Objective C. You're going to see some maybe Kotlin going on for the front ends. Uh, but then you're going to see a bunch of Nix and the Nix tooling and Nix modules. And really, I'm trying to simplify it. So all you do is download Nix and you just type a simple Nix run and it automatically compiles and grabs everything for you, takes the entire source code, creates an executable, and runs it immediately for you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I actually think it's great because you don't have to sit there and type make cario, make, lib input, xkb common, and then just take hours upon hours trying to compile source code by yourself, getting dependencies that don't work on Mac. There's a lot of stuff that's not shipped in Homebrew, and it's just not going to be a good time if I tell you to get all the dependencies by yourself. So
Right.
I think Nix is great because you can even include like packages that are dependencies of Wayland and then patch them with Nix and then just compile them directly. And it's so easy. Like for everyone else to use this, it is just the easiest thing, and you're able to compile it directly by yourself without having to try.
It's interesting to hear about Nix from the development side because most people I hear talk about Nix are talking about it from like the convenience of building up like a whole system, the convenience from the user side. But I guess that does
Mhm.
make sense. I've never properly looked into Nix. I've had Nix people on the show before, and every time they explain it to me, I leave the show more confused. I feel like a lot of Nix people, they're great at telling you like the Nick specific things that are awesome, but
Mhm.
aren't great at like explaining why that actually works and what makes it cool.
So yeah, I won't dive into it. It's a mess. It's huge,
Mm,
and it's basically production grade infrastructure, and it's the strongest we've got. And I'd say it's closest to math at that point.
mm.
It's got the largest package set in the world for any Linux, and I just really appreciate how powerful it gets when you look in terms of automation. With a single command, you could just have a single file that does literally everything for you. And that's not to say there's a lot of heavy work going on the back end, because there definitely is. But it basically is a language, a functional language, and it describes how to compile tools and applications. And that's basically all it is.
Mhm, mhm.
So you don't have to do it yourself.
Well, you got to do
Yeah.
it once. You got to make the language. You got to put the language together to make it do it, and then it works forever.
You can package these, what they're called derivations,
Hmm, hmm.
and you package them upstream to the Nix package monorepo. And once you get all the dependencies of the application that you need up there and maintained, you can actually call them as inputs to your software when you package your software to upstream. And it makes it very clean and very organized and very neat and really just straightforward when you're looking at it from a developer perspective.
I would assume basically everything you would need would have already been in Nix.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So that's the issue. There's always going to be stuff that's not there that you need to package yourself, and that can take months if you don't know what you're doing. And so I actually know how to do it, and I plan to make patches to things that are gonna be published up to Nix, and I actually have some source code that I need to publish up there so you can run. But that's gonna happen a long time from now. Right now, I'm just trying to get everything downstream just by itself
Mhm.
up and running.
Right. So get it all working, and then when you know it's working, then go through the next step of, making it more easily accessible.
Exactly. My goal is just to make it so straightforward. All you do is just run a simple command and it works for you.
Well, I hope that I hope you can I hope you can get to that point.
Yeah. I think I'm there. Xcode is just a big pain in the butt. It happens every time. And yeah, I said I like Xcode, but that was just a complete lie.
What makes Xcode annoying? Because I've used it a little bit in the past, but for nothing serious.
So I'm a Linux nerd, and everything is just usable on Linux. And as soon as you try and do the Apple ecosystem, you can't compile for anything without having Xcode, which is kind of true. But it's also not, but it is.
Mhm,
It's the whole infrastructure that Apple provides you
mhm,
to run, compile, run, and configure and set up everything. But they're so strict. Again, like I said, it's like a jail for iOS and all these other platforms that you can compile to,
mhm,
and you end up having to set up code signing. Code signing means you have to actually have an Apple entitlement or like a Apple certificate to get going, and that usually costs $100 a year. And I'm trying to do it without that.
mhm.
But if you did have one, you could actually theoretically just use some other third-party code signing tools, which I don't have access to. And I know that people aren't going to have access to that, so I'm constantly working around Xcode.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
is a
that
pain.
makes sense.
It takes up 80 gigabytes, even if it doesn't use 80 gigabytes every single time. If you don't have 80 gigabytes worth of space to allocate,
Oh.
Xcode won't install, even if it's only like 15.
What?
Yeah, and
Uh
it's just
is it like
annoying.
allocating
It's annoying.
is it allocating like build cache? I don't know why it would need
Well,
that.
I don't know why it would need it either, and we're just not going to go over that today either.
Fair enough.
I think if I learn more about Xcode, I'll learn to appreciate it. But right now, it's just very confusing. So,
No, that's
I
that's
also
that's fair.
I also just appreciate like I could just like build something and run it, and that's like the power of Linux, and I really just like that. So
What a crazy power to have.